In this episode, you'll learn how to apply the quote, putting others first can only happen after you put yourself first. Welcome to Energy Alignment for Entrepreneurs, the podcast helping online service-based entrepreneurs reduce stress, balance emotions, and grow a profitable business in less time. I'm your host, Justin Agliscus. Here we go. In today's episode, you'll discover the importance of having the strength to stand your ground, how to attract the right buyers and not tire kickers, what to do to overcome low self-esteem and common feelings of guilt. So, quote first, putting others first can only happen after you put yourself first. If you look at that analogy, right, you cannot give what you don't have. And this is ultimately seeing that life is a game, and this game is built upon learning. Learning is not to be confused with memorization. What the public indoctrination centers have all of us do, the school system, the public school system, all that teachers and professors do is tell children to memorize things. Real learning, now don't confuse this with me sounding as if there's something that I know. All I'm doing here is sharing a fact with you. And the fact is that memorization is not the same thing as learn. Now let's look at that. Whereas memorization, you can feel that someone is speaking from knowledge and that their being, their commitment, their essence isn't there. That they're somehow, some way attached to a worldview or an ideology or an idea, belief that they have projected to be true. But there's a gap between a projected truth and a real truth. And the memorization, the projecting, is kind of like opposite or absence of this quote. Because what happens through memorization is that we come to an idea like, oh, I have to put others first, right? Because that's what I have to do. But it comes from a total lack of truth. Because if you put others first above yourself, then you're giving them what you have. And that means that since you're not putting yourself first, you can only give them a half-ass version of you. You can only give them 20% of what you truly are. Now, right? That's the essence of memorization. That's exactly it. Because what I'm saying is true learning is understanding how to use 100% of our capacity. And the essence of memorization is in what we've been, not what we've accepted. You know, in the religious text, I'm pretty sure single religious text hints at not blindly accepting things. Why? Right? Why? And that's what the school system has set everyone up to do, is to blindly accept, to not question, to be taught from parents and professors, but to never question where they learned what they learned. And usually they learned what they learned through parents and professors. But guess what? The real learning that we're talking about, it comes from your heart. It comes from the depths of your being. It comes from the essence of creation. You see nature around us. People talk about God. Is there a God in you? I don't know. But how deep are you willing to go to find out? That's the question. Now, I'm not going to tone it down. I'm not. But when we look at putting others first can only happen after you put yourself first, I could go a bit more in depth on the nuance between learning and memorization. But let me give you just the simple thing. And that is the true learning is from a watching of what you are, a introspection in terms of what do you feel when you do certain things? What do you feel when you don't do certain things? What are you when no one's watching? Hmm? You hear those cliches, yeah? But you actually live that life moment to moment. What are you when no one is watching? How honest are you about your heart's truth and your mind's weakness? Now, I love it. On to the next. The importance of having the strength to stand your ground, right? This is it. This is it right here. Because the memorization, it leads us to a place of, based upon the past things that we have been told, the things that we have been forced to believe and blindly accept, uh, people won't stand their ground, right? Because they don't have any ground to stand on. But the truth, right? The real learning, it leads you to a place of seeing that the only strength is standing in uncertainty and being so connected to that uncertainty. It's a wordplay. It is. The importance of having the strength to stand your ground. It's it's first practically zooming out, seeing what happens when you blindly accept. You turn into a second-hand human. You lose your authenticity. You turn cold, rude, sad, depressed. Why? Because you closed yourself off from your heart. That, come on, right? You're smart enough to know that. You know that. Nothing I'm saying here is new. Everything I'm saying here, you already know. It's just sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget. Now, how to attract the right buyers and not tire kickers. Okay, yeah, we're veering from the title. Let's wrap this thing in. So, the title, Charging for Your Time, and how to attract the right buyers and not tire kickers. I mean, structurally, I'm giving you what you need to hear, but practically, how to attract, you know? Yes. And this is part of it. When you stand your ground, you're going to attract the people who have the money to pay you what you're worth. And if you don't stand the ground, you're going to attract the people to pay you what you're worth. And that's not much. Now, now, when I say that, I'm not saying you're always worth not much. I'm saying that where you're at right now is exactly where you're meant to be. And now the mind may refute that. The mind may have self pity and want to complain, but guess what? That's just the program. That's just the memorization. That's not the truth. And you're smart enough to see it. I know you are. So attracting, that's getting to a point where your old self, that memory, that program is so barely there anymore. So weak. In your real strength, your heart's truth is what you send out. When you send that out, it is absolutely inevitable that you find the people, they come to you where you have an offer that they want to pay you good money for. It's inevitable. If you want to go more in depth on that, I offer one-to-one mentorship. Now, what to do to overcome low self-esteem and common feelings of guilt? Let's look at the low self-esteem first, because isn't it where the common feelings of guilt branch from? So the way that we do things here is we go to the root. We'll go all the way down to the darkest places. But that's how you get the beautiful tree. Don't forget that. So the low self-esteem, yeah, that's very down there. It can get dark, truly. Because, right, in your past, in your memory, in your brain cells, you heard something once. And if something long enough, you won't know if it's true or not. Yeah? I was out at dinner with my grandma a couple days ago. I digress. It was a good time. Her and Gramps, wonderful people. Back to the point. When we are looking at the nature of low self-esteem, seeing how it manifests, we start to get beneath it and see that it's rooted in an image. We were told something, we believed it, we didn't question it, maybe repeated it, and now we think it to be true. But that low self-esteem, that's not what you are. You're much more than that. You're so much more than that. And that part of you, which is hard on yourself, which has no confidence, baby, you might have to fucking burn that karma. Go get a sales job. Go get a blue collar, like HVAC skill set or a electrical skill set. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm giving you a few ideas. You need a way that you work hard and that you feel good. Yeah. So that may be like a sales job where you also get the psychological part of it too. That blue collar, hands on stuff where amazing, priceless skill set that you can turn into a big company. Again, I'm willing to mentor. And honestly, as you look at your low self esteem, then you get into the gym too, and then you start changing your lifestyle, you're going to watch that low self esteem 360. And it doesn't have to take too long. It's like this process of starting to write, starting to break down the inner you, which is not your truth, the false you, the self pity you, the weak, soft you, the judgmental you, and the actions which perpetuate that vicious cycle. Then you end the actions first. You'll notice your mind starts to change. Then you'll also notice when the mind comes back up because your awareness is a bit more tuned in because you created some space, right? Now, okay, recap. The importance of having the strength to stand your ground. Sometimes you need to walk away. Sometimes you need to listen. But when you need to stand your ground, you must be strong enough to stand your ground. How to attract the right buyers and not tire kicker. You charge for your time a certain price, and you'll naturally find those who will pay that price, as long as your service is truly valuable. Also, this cannot be rushed. Now, what to do to overcome low self esteem and common feelings of guilt? Regret is your guideline. Be mad, be honest. It's okay to get mad as long as you observe yourself as it arises, let it go. Let go of that thought which builds the emotion, energy in motion. Now, summary, it's up to you to let go of the things which keep you small and drain your energy. Please start now. And thank you. Big hug. I appreciate you. New episodes are out every Monday, Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you do want to learn more, I have some free gifts. Number one, psychological journaling prompts. They cover topics anxiety, fear, insecurity. And number two, access to my new 11-page doc, How to Reduce Stress and Anxiety. Bonus, 2 to 4 new weekly emails. So let's go.